may begin speaking now.
Hello, testing.
Yes, hello, stranger.
Hey, yeah, long time no talk.
That's
Am
right.
I on with the Lewisburg Vigil? Is that still
Yes,
who this is? Or?
yes, you are, James. This is Tina.
Sounds good. It's been a little bit of a break, everyone. I had 90 days. Oh, no phone and no commissary, so I lost a lot of weight. And yeah, the issue is over. I didn't want to jail. I didn't want to cell up with a cellmate who had a certain charge. I have to be with someone in a cell. So I called my lawyer because he has medical needs and he has seizures. So I call him and he says, that's not your problem. And, you know, I'm liable if something happens with him. So he told me to write him a note. And I wrote him it really inflamed the unit manager, and he yanked me out of the shower. He said, come out of the shower. And the next thing I know, they put me in the hole and took me down, you know, put me in all oranges and put me in the hole. Anything else I could say I didn't hear. But yeah, it's really nice to have my phone back. And again, thank you guys for being out there and supporting us. I don't know where you guys are, but it might be cold there. I know it's really freezing in here. I sleep in a sweatshirt, socks, the whole 9 yards. So I hope you guys are warm wherever no one else lives. It's, you know, we don't really have heat right now. We don't have AC. We're just kind of, whatever the elements throw at us, you know, we got to deal with. But yeah, I'm definitely ready to move somewhere that has central heating and air conditioning.
So when do they turn the heat on then for you?
So I think there has to be like 5 days of under 32 degrees or something. Wow. Someone explained it to me, but probably not for another month. I mean, I'll probably be gone by that time. I talked to my lawyer, and he's hopefully going to try to get me moved to DC soon.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you happy
Yeah,
about
I'm doing all right here. It's just me, 4 Latinos, and then one other English speaker. And, you know, I speak a little Spanish, so it's been good practice for that. But I can't do much from here, and I can't talk to my lawyer too much. I got trial coming up in, I think, exactly 1 month, or maybe 1 month and a day. What's it, 23rd?
Yep.
23rd.
Yeah, so I think my trial starts the 24th. So I got to gear up. I haven't been able to talk to my lawyer as much as I would like. And there's a lot of things with my case that I think are very arguable. So, like an idiot, I'm still holding out hope. But I think I do have a good judge, Judge Gia Cobb. And she hasn't had a lot of January 6 cases, but I think I'm really blessed in that respect, because the judge I had before this was Judge Kelly, who, you know, going by the Proud Boy sentencing, seems to be notorious for, you know, pretty heavy sentencing, being a little punitive there. Definitely made the news with those sentences, so a little relieved I don't have him anymore.
So how was it that they changed judges for you?
I don't know. My co-defendant Samsel, I take everything he says with a grain of salt. He's a character though. But he said that he had to recuse himself. I don't know how true that is, but I don't know if that sounds right, because, you know, I feel like he would have had to recuse himself from the Proud Boys too. I don't know what would be special about our case compared to the Proud Boys. So yeah, I don't know why we switched, but I'm really glad we did. And I'm just really hoping to move to DC soon and talk to my lawyer. And a big part of my case is over this deadly weapon thing. And I pushed a bike rack. They're saying it's a deadly weapon. This bike rack weighs less than a pound. I mean, there's videos I've been watching. And, you know, I saw a video in here from a show called Ridiculousness. And a small dog is dragging the bike rack. I mean, it is so light.
This call is from a federal prison.
Yeah, there's just so many things with this, with my situation that I feel like are unfair. And I tell my lawyer about it. I'm like, well, you know, there's 30 people pushing the fence. How are you going to try to, you know, be super punitive to us when you didn't, you know, you got like 5% of the people here? And they're like, oh, I mean, that doesn't matter because they already got you guys. I'm like, that has to count to some degree that you have 30 people doing something. And I don't know. There's just so many, yeah. And then also that I'm sure you guys might be familiar with Carolyn Edwards. And I didn't see her. I didn't know she existed. And I'm really far from her. And they're trying to, the government. It's just so frustrating. The government originally did not charge me, did not hold me responsible for her. And then they added me in later, which to me says that you don't think I had anything to do with it. If I did something, I feel like that would be apparent and obvious on first glance. Why is that, why didn't you do it originally if it was so cut and dry? You had video the whole time, And that's where about 5 levels in my case are coming from. So without her, I'm doing a whole lot better.
So I'm not familiar with that part of your case. What's her involvement?
So it's my case is the initial breach of January 6th, the so-called initial breach, and so she's a female cop, and if you look at the video, there's a whole bunch of bike racks lined up, and Ray Epps is there. He's standing in the video. You can see him whispering to my co-defendant Ryan Sansel. And they even brought that up when they were grilling the Attorney General. When they were doing that whole thing, they were bringing up Ray Epps and the initial breach. But yeah, she's all the way to the right. Ray Epps is closer to her than I ever was, and I don't look in her direction. But there are, there's a fence. There's multiple bike racks kind of tied to a mesh fence. And the whole barrier is just flimsy crap. And so if you count the people between me and Carolyn Edwards, she's not even visible on video. But basically, she's extremely far down to the right, probably something like 20, 30 feet, somewhere between 20 and 30 feet. And they're saying that we were all in, I guess, a conspiracy or something to push the fence. But a conspiracy that only 5 of us are arrested out of 20, 25 of us that push the fence. There's hundreds of people pushing the fence, and it's just exasperating. But yeah, so she fell down, I guess, off camera. Maybe there's more in my discovery, which I don't have right now. But maybe there's more angles and camera angles. But she fell down. She's alleging she hit her head, and she's alleging that's a concussion. So the government has charged us with severe bodily injury, which is the worst kind of bodily injury. So she did continue her work the entire day. She got up and continued walking.
This call is from a federal prison.
Now she got up, walked back to where the police were regrouping, and she continued to work the whole day. And yet the government has saw fit to charge us as though, and I'm not even anywhere near her. There's literally I'm so far from her. But the government's charged us with the worst kind of bodily injury, so it's as if she was medevaced out of there.
James.
For an alleged concussion.
James, we have a question here.
James, I've seen that video. Yeah, she falls down. It doesn't look that serious to me. And but you guys aren't even closer. Doesn't Ryan run around and help her get back up again or something like that?
Yeah, Ryan does run around and lift her up, and yeah, he does. And I'm sure you've seen afterwards. She gets up and she looks like she's marching along fine to the next area. And yeah, I don't know. I got in a car accident about 5 months after January 6th. A guy rear-ended me on the highway, and totaled my car, and I had a concussion. And I was at the time about to go to law school, and I called up the counselor, the dean of admissions, and I said, I got in a car accident. I can't remember what I think would make me a good lawyer and successful in law school because I defer my scholarship for a year. She said, yeah, sure. And then I went to go sue I wanted to sue the car insurance company for the other guy. And basically all the law firm said concussions are really hard to prove, and that's going to be really hard. So I did go to the doctor and do what I could, but concussion's really hard to prove, and I just is that going to be carried over here? Because that's in a civil, where in a civil proceeding you just need 51%. So I just need them to be like, yeah, you probably did have a concussion. But in a court of law, when people are going to lose years of their life. I don't know, I'm hoping, but I don't have high hopes that the standard is going to be that high for them. I feel like to prove a concussion in this situation, the evidence is already not looking good when you continue to work the rest of the day. Oh God. And then you got the optics of how do you, man, it's just a terrible situation, really.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you go about that?
Yeah, and then you don't have access to all of your discovery. They're keeping that from you. So you don't know whether there's more video that shows her working other areas throughout the rest of the day either, which probably is available.
Tell me if I'm wrong, be honest, but doesn't that kind of diminish your claim if you continue to work the rest of the day with no signs of, we're talking, you got to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. Would you say walking and continuing your job of being a police officer during, this crazy day, doesn't that at least a little bit diminish your claim that you were severely concussed and you have permanent damage?
You would think so.
Right?
That just, it undermines the whole claim that sounds like she didn't even go to the hospital. So sure, that would certainly undermine her claim to the degree that she was hurt. And who knows, do we even know that she hit her head?
She testified during the January 6th committee. She said, I clipped my head, was her words. And to me, clipped isn't even the kind of injury that gives a concussion. Isn't it more like blunt force that would give that? Yeah,
blunt force or direct contact, like hitting the ground really hard, like on cement or something.
Yeah, and it's just so hard, the optics of going at, it's a tough situation. I don't think we're going to go jury trial. In fact, I think, in the last hearing, we all, except for Samsel, because I guess he had more questions for the judge, but 4 of the 5 co-defendants want to go bench trial. And I think I definitely have a good judge for it, and also based off what I've seen from other jury trials, I haven't had,
Yeah, I think the way things have panned out, the bench trial with a decent judge probably is a better way to go than doing the jury trials. The jury trial, the juries are all coming out of D.C. They're all, government workers, and it just doesn't fare well for anybody that's had to go that route.
I think I'm making the right decision on that, but it's just so frustrating, and I know it's going to be frustrating, but I had someone cut my hair today, so no, I don't know what the situation is with haircuts over there. Are the guys liking DC? What are they saying over there?
I'm not sure. Roy, do you know what the haircut situation is in DC?
No,
Right now they're locked down because they're all refusing to test for COVID before they go to court.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're all locked down. Actually, a couple weeks ago, they were threatened to be thrown into solitary because one guy had to be tested before he went to court. He tested positive, and so they were going to test everybody, and the rest of the guys said, no, none of us are going to test. So they threatened to throw him into solitary, and then apparently they put a call to action out, and apparently enough phone calls and pressure was put on the main 3 people that needed contacted that they chose to just lock down the pod, but they took away all their family visits.
Yeah, they've lost visitation. James, they lost visitation for 2 weeks in a row. Now, I just got back last night. I was going to visit 2 of the guys yesterday, but wasn't able to. So hopefully next Friday they can.
Oh, man. Yeah. I remember when I don't know why you need to stick something. What other test has ever been conducted? Okay, I don't trust it. It's very out of line for what I've seen from every other test for, you know what I mean? I don't know. I had a lot of suspicions with that whole COVID thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's as reliable as it's made out to be.
Yeah, I'm getting beeped here, so I guess that's been my time. But thank you guys so much for coming out, trying to stay warm out there.
Good to talk to you, James.
It's
appreciate
good.
it.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you too. We'll be here every Saturday 2 to 4 if you want to call back.
We're praying for you.
Okay, awesome. Please pray for me, guys.
We're praying. We are.
Yep, we are. We love you, James.
Every day.
Hang in there. Stand tall. Stand firm.
All right.
We'll talk to you later. Yep. Bye-bye.
Good to hear his voice.